Techu is a game played on a board with 25 spaces. It's red versus black. The goal is to have the most spaces at the end of the game. So this means that a 2 is just as valuable as an ace at the end of the game. So finding a way to protect your small cards and have them hold spaces is very important. Here, you can see the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 3, and the 2 5s are being protected in the back. And black only has 2 aces, a king and a jack. So there's actually more small cards on the board than big cards at the end of the game. So even though big cards are more valuable, at the end of the game, the small cards that are holding spaces are just as valuable. Number 2. You have the same cards as your opponent, just a different color and in a different order. So if you can remember what cards are played, or at least the face cards, you're going to have a big advantage. Here, you can see that red can't remember if black has played the king or not. They're looking underneath their aces to see if black's king was played. Here, red plays the king in a very defensive way. Number 3. Differences matter. Playing an ace over a 3 is not nearly as good as playing a 4 over a 3. The mathematics of this game are such that the odds will favor the player who minimizes these differences. This isn't always the case, but it's generally something to keep in mind. So in this situation, you could play the 8 over a 7, which would be a difference of 1 and is very good. You could play the queen over a jack, which is also a difference of 1, which is also good. You could play the ace over the jack, which is a difference of 3, which is strong considering this is the center position. The worst option you have is to put the ace over the 8, because that difference is much larger, and those differences will add up throughout the game. It can come back to haunt you at the end of the game. Number 4. The placement of cards. Where do you put the cards? In general, small cards are kept in the back, near your home row, and larger cards are used to attack your opponent's cards as well as protecting your smaller cards. In general, you want to protect your small cards, and it's often easiest to do that near your home row. Here, you can see black kept their 2s, 3s, and 4s near the back, and use their kings and aces to protect those. Red did the same, and even better. In this situation, they've got the queen, the king, and the ace out, and they're protecting their 3s, 5s, 4s, 6s, and ultimately won the game. Number 5. Leave empty spaces near you for smaller cards that are coming later in the game. It's better to play on your opponent's side as much as possible and save space for your small cards that have yet to come. Here, you can see that red did a great job at leaving space open in the back near their home row. Black, on the other hand, has nowhere to play. They have to play either on top of their own card or they have to discard. This is the worst thing that can happen in the game, so it's better to play on your opponent's side than it is to play on your own side. Finally, remember that all of these rules go out the window when you consider that it's up to the luck of the cards that you have. So if you have 2-2-3 or ace-ace-king or ace-king-king, well, there's not much you can do about it. But it's not the end of the world, because every possibility can happen in Techu. The most unusual things can happen, and in this situation, black still won the game. So those were our 4 most important tips for getting started with Techu. Good luck finding your strategy.